News Apple unveils the new virtual reality headsets at annual conference. Apple has launched a new headset to put users between the virtual and real world. The Vision Pro goggles has been unveiled at the company's annual developer conference in California. The 12 cameras, 6 microphones, and a variety of sensors will allow users to control various apps with their eyes and head gestures. It will go on a sale in the US early next year, costing more than 5,000 Australian dollars. This marks the beginning of a journey that will bring a new dimension to powerful personal technology. Apple is hoping it will repeat the success of past products. It was January 1984 when Steve Jobs unveils the Macintosh computer, considered revolutionary because of its graphical user interface or GUI and its navigational mouse. In 2001, the iPod digital music player launched, allowing people to store up to 1,000 songs on the go. 2007 saw the debut of the iPhone, bringing the convenience of touchscreen to the smartphone. The popular rival to BlackBerry quickly crushes its competitor. 3 years later, it was the launch of the iPad. It was the middle ground between laptops and a smartphone. Then, in 2014, the Apple Watch allowed people capability to connect from the wrist. It was initially marketed the smartwatch as a fashion accessory before shifting the focus on health tracking features. Apple is now entering fields where other technology companies have struggled. Facebook has described its three-dimensional realities as the metaverse, and its founder Mark Zuckerberg has invested billions of dollars into the technology. The Quest has remains the top-selling device, a market Apple now wants to dominate, and some analysts believe it has the upper hand. Apple has something the Meta doesn't have, and it's still all people had here today for a developer conference. How to engage these developer communities and how they have learned to work with Apple to go from device to device and bring their apps and being supported doing that. I think it's another key differentiator. Mark managed to being he joined up from Los Angeles in California. Mark, it is good to talk to you. How long has Apple been working on this device? Because the price is eye-watering, isn't it? $3,500 US, more than $5,000 in Australia. It's first of all pleasure to be here with you. Apple has been working on these products for nearly 8 years, and if you would recall, Jobs announced iPhone. He said the development process took about 3 years. Right, we're talking about 2.5 times the length of the iPhone development. That's because of these unique technologies. This is the unique products that can cannibalize old Apple's other products, right? Newbie, everything including iPhone, the iPads in back. Previous new generation products didn't do that. The iPhone took over the iPod, right? But it crushes the Mac of the iPad, right? This is going to be entirely new. It's going to be a big type computer replacement. I think it's really the future of computer. It's going to take a number of years to talk about, but it is certainly a very exciting device. Okay, so on that point about cannibalizing its other products, Apple says it will ushering in special computing in the way the iPhone brought about mobile computing. What is the risk here for Apple? The risk here is the technology is extremely nascent, right? There is a baby learning curve. It's also very expensive, right? You mentioned $3,500 US, which would be close to 5,000 Australian dollars, right? One thing I will add is this product is launching early next year in the US initially, and it's saying it will only hit more international markets. They didn't say which one later in 2024, but the good news for those in Australia is that Australia is typically an early Apple products launch country. So if I were to guess, Australia would be one of the very first country after the US to get the product. So those in Australia shouldn't have to wait too much longer after US people get their hands up. Is there a sense if anyone can people to adopt this product? It's Apple because others have attempts fails like the Google Glass. Certainly, if we're going to choose Apple, Apple's uniquely positions because owns the entire stack from the hardware to software and services that can make all the companies work together. The user interface is incredibly smooth and hardware is very sleek and slick. It is a well-made device. They have the manufacturing pros to actually build in an effective way. You see the attention to detail that was placed into development of these products away from stress. You can resize is having prescription pop-in lenses made with dice in Germany, contents from Disney. There's level to this stuff, and it's at a point where an Apple can pour up something to this amount of success. I do think this is going to open many sales for Meta. I think Meta's Quest 3 coming later this year is going to be huge successful because of the halo effects that this product is gonna catch over the virtual reality and augmented reality market. People are now learning about spatial computing thanks to Apple, and they're going to look at what devices are there and alternatives to $3,500 price point. The Meta device is $500 all US, probably about $750 Australia. That's much cheaper than the Apple price, and it's probably not even that far behind in terms of technology, in terms of specific use cases that people might use. Yeah, and Meta has 81% of the VR headset market at the moment, doesn't it? Meta has 81% of VR headset market right now. If we had this conversation 1 year from now, I would venture to say Apple has more than 50% of market. Wow, that Meta has plummeted because of amount US sales that Apple is going to bring to the table once this headset actually ships. And then you're talking about international ramp. You're talking about cheaper model eventually improves hardware at some point too. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that because Apple has already flexed that they will bring out a cheaper version of this, but also possibly more expensive version. Yeah, so Apple hasn't announced anything public when I thought they are already working on a second generation version of this Insta Pro model, which would, add some new speeds and fees a faster process, probably a cheaper NAS and 4 chips that would be quite more advanced, a little bit more gaming capabilities, some more correct power running, also a cheaper model, right? This chip in the version Pro initially is a Mac great processor. The screen in this Azure 4K display, right, like the 2K TV jams into this headset. Very high-end speaker and microphone, a range of camera and other sensor externally. There is a way to make this device cheaper using lower grade material, maybe not carbon fiber, maybe using less glass, maybe not including the isolate feature, the external display. There is a university we can get the cost down in half by breaking down the quality of components and quality of manufacturing. And so I think that's where Apple gonna hit as well at some point in order to really bring this technology to the masses, because the Vision Pro is not for the masses, right? Many years from now, I think you will see everyone wearing this AK mark thing. And thanks so much for your time. Thank you so much.